Hey survivors, it's Angie Atkinson, and today at queenbeing.com, we're going to talk about whether or not it's possible to relapse when you start to heal from your C-PTSD symptoms. That's complex post-traumatic stress disorder. This is something that happens to a lot of narcissistic abuse survivors. So that's what we're talking about today. All right, let's get started. My name is Angie Atkinson, and this channel is all about teaching you what I know to be true. You really can create the life you want. Okay, so I'm answering a question directly from one of our SPAN members today that came through my admin team that let me know that this was a question that they had seen often in the group. So here we go. So the first thing you have to remember is that PTSD or CPTSD happens as a result of either witnessing or experiencing a terrifying event. When you've got CPTSD, it's something that's been often an events, a series of events, or the course of a relationship, right? So if you have been diagnosed with PTSD or CTPSD, you might find some pretty intense flashbacks happen, reactions that you don't expect. You kind of get sidetracked by things, you kind of get distracted by things, they kind of take you off in your own world. You start to remember what it was like to be with a narcissist and all the abuse that you suffered during that time. You might even start to feel like you're back in the middle of it, okay? So a couple of symptoms, a few symptoms that you might experience if you have PTSD, even if you haven't been diagnosed. Well, you might be having avoidance. So you might avoid certain things that make you feel guilty, things that make you worry, feel depressed, feel numb or hopeless, and maybe these are sometimes things that you used to enjoy having or doing in your life, activities or types of relationships, or thinking about trouble that you had during a traumatic event or a series of events, as in this case your narcissistic abuse. So anytime something makes you remember what you went through, you might be avoiding it without even realizing it. Another thing is, like, they call it hyper arousal, where you have a lot of trouble sleeping, you can't, you get headaches, you get anxiety, you get stress, irritability, you feel on guard all the time, always on edge. It happens, and it's part of these symptoms, okay? Another thing you might experience is like certain physical symptoms, anxiety, nausea, racing heartbeat, dizziness, faintness, all of a sudden, panic attacks and that type of thing. So the question was, can you actually, when you begin to heal from this, which I've done some videos on that before, and I can do more of those for you as we go forward. But the question is, when you begin to heal from this, is it over? Are you done? Or can these symptoms come back? And unfortunately, it is possible to relapse. The symptoms can return or even worsen because of triggers. I just talked about triggers the other day, but let me go through this a little more, okay? In this case, maybe the anniversary of a traumatic event. So let's say the day your narcissist had, your final showdown, and maybe they did something horrible to you. They physically abused you, or they killed your dog, or something horrible like that. That might, every year on that day or around that day, you might just find that you get real edgy and you don't even know why, okay? Another example of this could be like, say if your narcissist had been locked up because they had done something so terrible to you that it was, punishable by law, and they were arrested, and that they're being let out on this day at this time. That's going to cause you a lot of anxiety. It might re-trigger you, bring you right back into the same state of mind that you were once in. Another example, early warning sign might be that you start to move into old behaviors without even realizing it, okay? You might have just a little slip and you might be able to get right back on the horse, but yeah, you can absolutely have, a full relapse if you're not careful. So if you find yourself slipping into old patterns of thoughts or behaviors, you should know that if you keep your eye on it, you can get back on track if you make certain, changes and healthier strategies, okay? So things that I want you to watch out for include changes in sleeping patterns. Whether you sleep too much, too little, you have horrible nightmares, you start snoring, you didn't snore before, whatever. Frequent and maybe even unexplained crying, or crying about things that shouldn't make you cry or wouldn't normally make you cry. Like, and maybe you're going to be crying about, like, commercials on TV, or you're crying because somebody was nice to you. That used to happen to me when I was first out of my relationship. Things like that. Panic attacks, angry outbursts, slipping into certain unhealthy coping behaviors, like I said, falling back into old behaviors, whether it's substance abuse or deliberate self harm, whatever. Feeling like you're hopeless, feeling like there's nothing you can do to make your life better, feeling like your life sucks and there's nothing you can do about it. PTSD is a truly personal experience. The fact is that your own warning signs are going to be unique to you. Everybody's different, okay? You've got to look for something that, keep your eye on your mental state, on your emotional state, on your physical health. Watch for old habits coming back with your behaviors. Watch for negative thoughts in your head. Keep your thumb on the on the pulse of yourself, if that makes any sense. So understand that you want to make sure that you are on above the level of, stay the course. You want to make sure that you stay the course. So commit yourself to using certain healthy coping strategies, at the sign of any sign of the slip, the falling back into the old habits. Okay. So, what can you do to develop more healthy coping strategies? Well, we're going to talk about that. All right. So, one of the first things you can do to start to kind of get yourself right back on track is to start focusing on your sleeping again. Okay. When we don't sleep right, it has a very negative impact on ourselves emotionally, physically, and otherwise. Okay. There are so many different ways that we can really work through these problems. Okay, I just gave you a technique yesterday that you can get to sleep in just like under a minute. It actually works. I tried it. Did you try it? Let me know in the comments. Anyway, if not, if you haven't seen that, I'll try to link to it up here for you. All right. Okay, exercise every day. Just a little bit if you can. I don't care if you're not in shape. Get up and walk around your couch 10 times. Anything will help. Okay. Avoid doing that though within 3 hours of bedtime. So before bed, if you're going to get some, better sleep, try to avoid eating, try to avoid drinking caffeine, and try to avoid working out. Okay, try to kind of simmer down in that last 3 hours to help you get better sleep. All right. Obviously, don't eat a lot after 7 p.m. or whatever. Nicotine, try to avoid it during those 3 hours. Caffeine, alcohol, all of that stuff. Try to make it through the day without taking a nap, and just basically make your bedroom the most comfortable sanctuary that you can. It doesn't have to be big and fancy to be beautiful and comfortable. Okay, go to Family Dollar. You'll be shocked at how many pretty things they have for bedrooms for next to nothing. Not to mention the Salvation Army and stuff like that. I'm always about a great bargain. But anyway, my point is, create yourself a bedtime routine. Make it, put yourself to bed in a beautiful place. Make your life feel comfortable to you. That's going to be one step toward battling the PTSD and C-PTSD relapse. It's going to help you sleep better, and sleep always helps you stay more on task with where you're trying to go in your life. All right. Another thing you can do, of course, is to talk to your doctor or your mental health care provider or your life coach about what you're going through. Now your doctor or your mental health provider, depending on what their position is, may be able to provide medicine for you or recommend different things. I don't ever prescribe anything. I'm sure you know that, but because I'm not a doctor. Therapists, though, sometimes can help you with developing coping skills and different kind of support if you feel disconnected. Coaches can do the same thing. Coaches cannot prescribe medicine. Coaches will not prescribe medicine. In certain types of coaching, when it leans more toward therapy and less toward coaching, then you're going to be looking for a therapist instead of a coach. Okay, but if you think you can work through it yourself with a little help, then a coach can be a really good match for you. All right. Anyway, my point is, talk to your friends, talk to people that you trust, utilize your support system. That is another really good way. If you're struggling with triggers, maybe you want to join a support group like SPAN and, exchange your story. SPAN, you can learn more about that. It's my free online support group at queenbeing.com/SPAN, or if you want a smaller, more intimate group, maybe you want to look into getting involved with the university. We have a really good, strong narcissist Narcissistic Abuse Recovery program in place there. Several staff members are connected to that, and we have quite a really a lot of exciting stuff happening. So be watching. University.com is where you can find that stuff. All right. Anyway, another thing you can do is stay busy. All right. In any kind of recovery program, when you are actually creating a new life for yourself, one of the things they tell you, like for example in AA, they say 90 meetings in 90 days. Well, obviously you're not going to go to 90 narcissistic abuse survivor meetings in 90 days, but you might check into the narcissistic abuse survivor group online every day for 90 days. Do you know what I'm saying? Get yourself involved in something that makes you feel stronger. Go to church, join a crafting club or something, or a mom's group or a singles group, whatever. Do something. Stay active in a positive way. Take a yoga class or a ballet class. One of my beautiful, amazing clients who is a very talented musician, you know who you are, girl. She actually was taking this really cool, like, barre class or whatever, bar class it was like a ballet slash exercise class, and she loved it. She said it really did good stuff for her butt. Anyway, the point is that whatever you're doing, do something. Get yourself going. Don't sit around the house and let yourself get depressed. Stay moving. PTSD and C-PTSD, believe it or not, are completely normal responses to the hell you've been through, my friend, and the hell you may still be going through. So don't beat yourself up for it. Just remember that you are someone who will get through this. You are someone who's going to survive this. I promise you. Okay? You're not alone. That's my point. There are so many resources available to you, so many of them right here on YouTube, so many of them available to you at queenbeing.com, in the SPAN group, at the university, and those are just the ones I'm offering up. There's lots of other people out there that are offering help like this. You can get help, my friend. Let us help you get better and move forward in your life. PTSD is not a life sentence, but you do have to manage it probably for your lifetime. Take care of yourself. Treat yourself like you would treat your child, or like you wish that your parent had treated you growing up. All right? Protect yourself and give yourself allowances where you need them. As I have told you repeatedly, one of my little quirks is that I need to spend at least an hour alone a day without anybody in the room or not talking to anybody or doing anything. I just need to be by myself for at least an hour of my awake day. And I make allowances for that. I get up extra early sometimes to get it, or I stay up extra late, whatever. I make sure I get my hour because it keeps me from going nuts. So if you have something in your life that keeps you from going nuts, give yourself a freaking break and do that thing within reason. As long as it's not unhealthy for you or it's not hurting anyone, okay? And it's not too illegal. All right? So remember, if you actively participate in your recovery from narcissistic abuse and or toxic relationship, parental narcissistic abuse, relationship abuse, whatever, if you actively choose to take it, recover from it, and make it your bitch, well, guess what, honey? You got this, okay? Yes, CTPSD can come back, but yes, there are ways to stop it and crush it in its freaking path. So that's what I got to say today. What do you think? Let me know. Share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget, if you have questions you'd like me to answer, you can leave them here in the comments, or you can email me or my assistant or you can just email me and I'll pass it on to the people that need to put it in the spreadsheet for me. We have a new spreadsheet. Thank you, Melina, my new business manager. Well, not that new. She's been there a little bit. She's awesome. You guys are going to get to know her a little more in an upcoming video. And some of my other awesome people too. So stay tuned for that. Things are exciting. Things are wonderful. I'm very excited about everything that's happening. Stay tuned for a big announcement for those of you who are interested in business and learning how to do what I do for yourself. All right? I'm wrapping up. Have a wonderful day, everybody. See you soon. Thanks for being a part of my day and a part of my life. And hey, thanks for letting me be a part of yours. It really does mean so much to me. It's my mission to teach others what I know to be true. You really can create the life you want. Take care of your body. Take care of your soul. Nurture the real you and introduce him or her to the world. Be comfortable in your own skin and in your place in this world. Take your spot. Take it now. And the universe will take its cue from you. You feel me? If so, subscribe to my channel. Let's get it done together.